Attention, 59 gamers. We are back with another installment of your favorite Dokkan Battle podcast called the Dokkan Battle Podcast. I'm your host, Toon Rami, and joining me this week is the international family guy himself, Talon.
Hey guys, what's going on? Ohayou gozaimasu.
Part-time stand user and full-time Super Battle Road King, the Mass Ningen.
Yo, how's it going, everybody?
The homie who needs no introduction, Goresh.
All right, guys, what's going on?
Star of That 70s Show and second best Venom actor of all time, Nolar.
I'm back, boys. Let's get going.
The most silent Mario Kart player you will ever meet, Xeno Kensei. Thank you. So without further ado, jeez, I didn't think you would actually do that. All right, make sure you guys are locked in across all of our social media platforms and connect with the 59G network. Follow us on Twitch, Twitter, subscribe to our YouTube, join our Discord, check out the new Facebook. All the links will be provided everywhere, so make sure you guys are fully locked in. Later on tonight, we'll be live back here for the Dragon Ball Heroes 10th anniversary live stream. You don't want to miss that, so make sure you guys tune in. We will be live a little bit early just to hang out with you guys, chat a little bit as the festivities commence. Without further ado, let's jump in. But before we get started on the actual show, Matt Ningen, I'm going to hand the floor over to you to talk to us a little bit about something exciting coming up in the pipeline.
Yeah, so those of you who are subscribed to the 59 Gaming YouTube channel, make sure you are if you're not. But we posted the International Tournament of Power trailer that was debuted on last week's episode of the podcast. So I've already seen a lot of comments from people. People are excited. People want to know what's going on. Obviously, if you've seen the trailer, it's two teams, Team Global versus Team JP. You've got myself, Goresh, Tiger, and Gale for Team Global, and then we've got Talon, Nolar, Sunblade, and Jinro for Team JP. And I can tell you guys that it is going to officially start next week, and the first two matches are going to be myself versus Sunblade and Talon versus Tiger. So those will be coming up sometime next week. It's basically going to be 4 rounds of standard races, so every single member of both teams will end up racing each other at some point, and obviously a winner will be declared at the end. Standard race like you're used to seeing from all of us guys. The only difference is attack up items are not allowed, so there'll be no spamming attack up items and lapping people, Goresh, unfortunately.
I'm not even participating. Why do you have to do that?
So yeah, that's going to be officially starting next week, so make sure you keep an eye out for that. Let us know in the chat, in the comments, on the videos, hashtag Team Global or Team JP. And yeah, that is all going to be kicking off next week.
You're a bully. All right, thank you so much, Mass Ningen. Appreciate that. Without further ado, let's jump into episode 8. I need a hero. So, for the first topic for this week, chain battle nonsense. Both sides of Dokkan have had to deal with some chain battle shenanigans. So we'll start with JP. I hear that there have been some issues on JP as far as the units needed for your support lines and whatnot. So let's just kick it off with Nolar and Talon. What is going on with JP's chain battle?
Oh God, it is. Oh God, I've got no words for it. It is painful. You know, okay, I never thought I'd actually say this after last chain battle, but apparently they one up themselves for this one. I actually prefer the World Tournament chain battle to this one. I will say that right now. I actually prefer it. Not that I actually prefer any of these chain battle modes, just because they are picking the most random categories, the ones that very few people actually can make cohesive supports and everything like that. You know, the 10 super supports and the 10 extreme supports. It's just, not to mention all the RNG that goes into it. You'll use the exact same setup for both two people, you know, teams that you bring. And hey, one time I'm going to get, 52 million or 52,000 or whatever the score is. And then next one will be finally that 80 that you're looking for, close to that 90 or something like that. And you're just like, what the heck's going on? So yeah, no, I don't know how yours has been going, man.
Go ahead.
It's been rough. So, I mean, I have a pretty good box, right? But again, I'm not using my own box. I'm relying on my friends. I need to clean out my friends. Because some of these options are just terrible.
Well, yeah, it is. It's bad.
Yeah, but either way, this one in particular is really rough because you pretty much need Super Saiyan 4 Gogeta. Not just the Int one. You'll need the Tech one too, and full power Super Saiyan 4s. So like, I got lucky one time. I think I hit 113 million, and the team that I brought was the same team I brought the other day, like the day before, and I used I remember because I was like, oh yeah, I'm gonna take these three. Like, you know, you kind of pick out in your head, like, I'm gonna take these three if they show up, and if not, we'll here's plan B. Well, it's the exact same team, exact same friends, exact same setup. The day before, I hit 78 million, and then the next day I hit 113 million. All rainbowed, everything. I just don't understand how this mode works. So pretty upset because I just, at this point, I would rather play World Tournament than play this.
Yeah.
As
That's
bad
pretty
as the
bad.
last iteration of Chain Battle was for you guys, looking at the Dokkan Wiki, there's at least 8 rows of units to choose from. So, I mean, as far as like optimal team builds, it's probably not very advantageous to use a bunch of these guys, but at least there were some fallback options, plan B, plan C, plan D. Whereas on this newest one, there's literally 1 row of units that account for like 4 different characters. That's it. And if you don't have those, you're pretty much a goner. So what exactly do you think is going through their minds when they develop this Chain Battle and think, you know what, we're gonna make this one completely restrictive and ruin everyone's experiences with 3 units? What do you think is like what is the point of this?
Don't think there is a point. I don't think they're really. I think the problem is they had this concept of Chain Battle, which for the first couple of ones were actually pretty good because the categories were big enough that even if you didn't have the top tier optimal rainbow LRs and whatnot, you could still get a decent score. But the problem is they've just been progressively getting smaller and smaller with the categories. So like, sure, Shadow Dragon Saga, you might have some more units that are like more built, but there's just so little units, period. Right? So like on the extreme side, you're just seeing people bring a ton of Friezas. That's it. Just all versions of Friezas, at least on the JP side. And that's just only because of what's it called? In the global side is what? Inhuman Deeds. What's it called on JP again?
Wicked Bloodline, you mean?
Diabolical
Villains, yeah.
Villains.
Oh.
Yeah, well, but the best team is supposed to be all the Shadow Dragon Saga Extreme units. But how many of them are there? There's literally, like, there's one guy I saw, and I mean, I'd say he's bigger well than I am, because he's got every Omega, strength and physical, maxed out, plus the the SSR versions. He even took the SR, like, AGL one, that the Awakens. He rainbowed that one and a bunch of, like, Sin Shenrons, and that was like the best optimal team. But he's just like the one dude out there. Everyone else is just running Friezas because there's nothing else they have to fill up the box with like the best advantageous extreme units. So look, this game has always had an issue where extreme units are always on the weaker side than the super units, right? Just because we love our heroes, we love Gogetas, Vegetos, we love all those, and extreme side doesn't get much love. But then you also put them in restrictive categories. Why are they surprised that no one has anything to make this work? So,
on the flip side, the global side of Chain Battle has I think it's a little bit better as far as comparing to JP. We had more options to choose from with our connectors, with our attackers. I know Mass Ningen absolutely loves this event. It's his favorite thing to do, even more so than Super Battle Road. So we'll start with you. How have your runs been on the global side with Universe Survival Saga, Universe 6, Rapid Growth? How's it been going for you, buddy?
So I haven't really done it since the first day. I'm actually looking at it again now, funnily enough, because I got to, I think it was 128 million I got on my first attempt.
Of course.
That put me in the top 1%. And so then literally I checked back like a couple of times during the day and was still at the top 1%. So I haven't really played it, but I've gone on to check it again today and I've dropped down to the 2%. So I'm trying to do some runs now. And yeah, definitely second to the whole need to sort out my friends list a little bit, because I don't know what some of these people are going on here. I've got one right here. I'm not gonna cyberbully this person by telling everyone what their name is, but somebody has as their extreme connectors the LR androids, Prime Battle Frieza, Full Power Frieza, Prime Battle Cell, the Kid Raditz and Vegeta, and the LR Zamasu in Goku's body.
You mean the
Now
supporter?
that's a
What?
keeper. That's
What?
a keeper right there.
Why
That's a
have you done this?
That's
So like
when
I get it.
That's when you go to your friends list and you click unfriend.
Yeah, so obviously I get it that this one is a bit weird because they recommended the I saw at first when it first came out, people were putting teams of like the different versions of Hit and like Champa and stuff, trying to actually fulfill the category, but then everybody's kind of settled on the all cell teams now, so that's what most of my supporters list is. But yeah, I've used the same team. I've seen people using screenshots of like the exact same teams, even with the same friends that I've used, because they're from like the groups that I'm in. And I've seen people getting like 130 odd million with the exact same team setup, and I can't even get 128 again. So yeah, love it. Love it so much.
Speaking of those cells, Goresh, you mentioned this a couple of times that the whole cell trick, having the cells on your support line, was apparently patched out or fixed or something on JP, whereas Global has yet to receive that update. So,
yeah, so we're currently in the cell games right now, still, because that was what it was last time as well, for the Broly one. And I think what they ended up doing on JP for the next one, which I think is Frieza, I think it is.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Versus the Frieza, is they reduced the amount of, I guess, effect that non-special units have as supporters. And so even though the cells do like have a ton of links and categories and typings together, they're not going to do as well versus the enemies because of the fact that they're not special characters, or they're not in the special categories that are required. So I think just assuming that we go off the same formula that JP went by, starting with the next chain battle, you're not going to be able to just form a group of only cells and you're going to do well. It's not going to be the case next time if they go by the same formula, which I assume they will.
Kensei, you have also expressed very vocal opinions about chain battle. I've noticed personally that Hit was a great option for an attack unit. Kefla has been a great one. KFC has been a good one. There's really no general consensus on which is the go-to unit. But for you on your runs, because you've been trying this a couple of times, what has been your recipe for success?
So my main attacker is Physical Kefla. She's my main attacker at the moment. Then I keep using Goresh's stuff. So thanks to him, I got to like 128 million. But my second round, I kept using the same team and I kept getting lower and lower. So I don't know what's going on. So I've been getting pissed off at the game. So I don't know what's going on because I keep using different teams. So I use somebody else's support line. Like I think you need to have as LRK and C first to get more damage. But I tried that like 5 times and I kept getting lower and lower. The highest that I got on my second round was like 127. And I'm here like what's going on? Like why am I getting lower and lower? So I just hate it right now.
I'm pretty sure the best attacker is Hit, actually.
Really?
Yeah,
Yeah.
because he has more stats than Kefla, and remember, he's in all the categories. He's in Universe 6, he's in Universe Survival Saga, and he's in Rapid Growth. And that's why he's good. And he's a special character.
Oh,
so
yeah,
he shares all those things that you need to be a good attacker, and he has more stats than the Kefla does. So I'm pretty sure Hit is better.
Okay.
Yeah, actually, on my day 2, I switched to Hit and I upped my score quite a bit. So I've been finding more success with Hit myself. But it's crazy how before we used to think that it was all about the number, the attack value alone, nothing else. But now we're starting to see that there's other factors that contribute to this. And this speaks to either the beauty of the event or the thing that we hate about the event. And the fact is, nothing is black and white. Nobody really knows exactly how to break this down as a science. Do you guys think that strengthens this event? Because you can't really just look at a cheat sheet, figure out what you got to do, and then just go do it? Or do you think there should be something more concrete for us to base our attack strategies on? What do you guys think about this? Does it need to be changed, or does it just continue to exist as is?
Yeah, no, I hate it. I agree with something that I think Nalar spoke about it in one of the first rant videos that I saw, and I remember it because it's exactly what I was thinking. Is obviously in this game, there's almost nothing else that works like this. Where like if you're somebody who's invested a lot of time and money into the game, then you should be able to do the events, and not necessarily like, you know, on autopilot. You don't need to think about it, but you should be able to be rewarded from having built up your account. There should be a strategy, and then yeah, if you know the strategy, if you've got all the right units and all the good stuff, then you should get the top scores. And it's really frustrating to have a mode where, like I say, you can recreate runs of people that you've seen getting scores way higher than you can ever get, and just not being able to recreate it. And we just don't like specifically understand why it works like that.
Yeah, I think the last part was the most important thing that you said, and I think the reason why people are very upset with this mode in general is because there's not a very good explanation as to how the mode works.
Yeah.
They give like a half-assed explanation in the news or whatever, like the little tab they have, like the little I button. But I think, how long has this event been around for? Like 5-6 months at this point. I think if at this point people aren't like, and people who have been playing this game for forever and play this game every single day, if you at this point don't understand, and those players specifically who are hardcore players of Dokkan don't understand at this point how the mode works, then that's a problem. And that's not a problem on their end, that's a problem on the developer's end, because they haven't made it clear enough throughout either their announcements in game or whatever, the tutorial of the mode, how the game works. It's just not clear enough, and there needs to be some sort of breakdown, because you're seeing people get these high scores and they're like, oh, okay, well, that's cool, and they didn't even know how they got them, which to me doesn't invoke a sense of accomplishment for doing that. It's more so like, okay, you know what, I got a high score, I'm cool with it, I'm just not going to play anymore. And you guys hate on the World Tournament a lot, which is fine, I get the hate for it. I personally also dislike the mode a lot, but the thing that World Tournament does is it rewards the grind, it rewards hard work, and you feel a sense of accomplishment when you get a high ranking in World Tournament. In this mode, you can come in day one, get 150 million, and that's it, you got lucky. So I don't know if that was their intention, but I think the biggest thing that they need to work on is communicating like what the mode does and how to actually like play the mode the right way.
Just to just go on top of what Gresh is saying about rewards for World Tournament. Okay, so World Tournament is a grind. It's pretty mindless, pretty brainless. Like we get it, but the rewards are really good. So if you are vying to get top 10, top 100, top 1,000, the rewards justify, for the most part, the amount of grind you have to do. The problem I have with this mode is my reward is 5 dodge. Like, there's nothing. I know it's RNG. That's what makes it even worse. It's RNG upon RNG. It's like, can I even get the score with the team setup that I have? And then can I even get the reward that I'm looking for? So if they had an actual setup of, hey, we'll give these skill rewards for the top 1, 2, 3, 4% or whatever, then that would incentivize me to keep going. But the fact that I'm bashing my head and trying to, I was stuck at 4%, and then one run, just literally one run got me to 1%, and I had no idea what I did, just doesn't invoke good confidence. So like, one, skill orbs aren't really worth a lot, at least to me. So that demotivates me even more to not even play the mode, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
You okay there? All right. Someone's giggling in the background. You know what I find very ironic? These guys are quick to adjust the whole cell thing by making sure that people don't benefit from using cells. So they're paying attention to the event. They're paying attention to what's going on, but they don't think making any sort of other changes to help benefit the overall experience is important. They just feel like, okay, let's just remove this quote unquote cheese, the cell cheese, but let's leave everything else as is. That's very nice.
Yeah, I mean, it kind of was a pretty big deal that people would just skip over a lot of what you're quote unquote supposed to be doing. Because what is it, like the hits are like the special units for the extreme side of things right now on global.
Yeah.
And nobody's using hit, obviously, because it's just not worth using hit. And I guess they looked at that and they were like, okay, 2 chain battles in a row, people just skipped over using the extreme special units. So we got to fix this. But what it's annoying to me, and what I assume is annoying to most people, is that they correctly addressed that, which it is good. Obviously, they're fixing the mode. They're adjusting what needs to be adjusted on that end. But when you take a look at the whole mode as like an overall mode in this game, they're not looking at like, okay, why are people upset about the mode overall, or like why are people not having fun with this mode? And I don't even know. Step 1 is figuring out that people don't like the mode. Period. So they need to put out a survey or something specifically for this mode, and then ask a bunch of questions like, okay, do you feel accomplished when you play this mode? How would you rate this mode on a scale of 1 to 10? What are some things you would change? And then give a list of points, and then do like a basic analysis on the survey answers and be like, okay, like 70% of people said they don't like the mode, so what can we do to improve it? And then they go to the next question. It's okay, 70% of people said they should do this to the mode, or they should do this to the mode, and then like use the user feedback to improve this in a way that's constructive and not just, what do we do next? Like I don't know, change the enemy. Like they have to have some sort of structure to how they're actually developing this game. And doing those surveys and then analyzing the answers that we give them is like the best way that they could do that, but they haven't done that, so I don't know.
It's a very painful event. It's a very painful event, and it doesn't seem to be ending anytime soon. The pain will continue. So let's move on. Let's just put this behind us and let's move on. Before we move on to the next major topic, I want to quickly mention that Majin Vegeta on Global got its Easy A. Woo! Big news. Breaking news, folks. The Easy area for the Hero Extermination event has added a 9th stage, and Global did get Majin Vegeta as the new Easy A. Obviously, this is colossal news. We have to talk about it. So this guy is now an all-types elite. I can't believe I'm reading this. Causes supreme damage with a chance to stun. And, he's a lot better than what he was before. And it does appear like the lead skill and just overall the kit for these units from the Hero Extermination event are slightly improving over time. So what do you guys think? Good unit, worth using over other Majin Vegetas ever? Does he look like a World Tournament candidate? What are your guys' thoughts on this unit?
Yeah, I was going to say that the only situation I would see using this character as a good idea is in the World Tournament. Because if you take a look at the other Majin Vegetas we have, I would say that the physical, maybe it's STR. The STR. Physical, yeah, the STR free-to-play one. Or was
no physical? The
free-to-play one is
free-to-play
one.
Yeah. So I would say the physical free-to-play one is better than this one. And then the STR regular banner unit is also Easy A better than this one as well.
You could argue it's even the best one.
Yeah, I would argue he's the best one. But there's so many at this point. What is there, like 4 Majin Vegetas in the game? Just straight up standalone Majin Vegetas.
Yeah.
And I don't think this guy's in like the top 3 or even 4. He's probably the worst one in the game still, even after his Easy A. But he is really good for World Tournament. So that's what I have to say about him. But the one thing that I don't understand how they designed this unit, and I think I talked about this back when he first came out on JP, is he gets the boost when your HP is less than 60% health. And in World Tournament, when are you ever going to be below a certain percentage of health? Because if you get hit once, you're dead on 30 times difficulty. So that is like the most baffling design choice I've ever seen for this unit, because they know this unit is only going to be used in World Tournament. So why would they make his kit like that when it's not going to be activated at any point?
I feel like the passive is supposed to be for Super Battle Road.
But who's using him?
Yeah. So that's the thing I was going to say. Like, I'll go to bat for him a little bit. He's not the worst Majin Vegeta. I would put him over the LR just because he actually has defense.
I would not. There's no universe where I would put this guy over the LR.
If I was going to run a team to do like an Infinite Dragon Ball History stage and I had to bring a Majin Vegeta, I would bring this guy over the LR because he actually has defense. I was relatively like his ETA is kind of basic. We talked about it a little bit when he came out on JP, but when I recorded the showcase for him, I was kind of impressed with the numbers that he was hitting. And obviously, when he does get that passive off, his attack stat is pretty high. But the problem is I think Super Battle Road outside of the World Tournament is the only mode where you might even think about using him. But yeah, he takes a lot of damage. Category Super Battle Road takes like 30k from normal attacks, and then I did the Extreme Super Battle Road thing today, and he takes like 50 or 60. So
Yeah, what I really don't understand is they EZA'd this guy and the physical Boo pretty much at the same time. And clearly Majin Vegeta as the name has a lot more competition than the Boo does. Yet they made the Boo like 50 billion times better than this Majin Vegeta. So what is that?
So that was actually going to
Teammate?
make me think that they don't really know what they don't really plan what they're building these units for. Like they're not building it for Super Battle Road or World Tournament. They're kind of just giving them not random builds, but they're kind of going in a pattern so that they can build units different enough so that there is some diversity, but in the grand scheme of things, they're essentially the same. I don't really think that they're focusing on where do we want this unit to be catered towards or anything like that. I don't really feel like that's their goal here.
yeah, because it would make you wonder what their plan was specifically for this guy. Like, where do they think that people were going to be using him? Like, once they gave him this EZA.
Nolar, you were going to say something?
I was just gonna make the comment for Talon, Team ATB. You know, one got Tech Majin Vegeta, the other one got the physical Boo. But I mean,
Team B totally got Boo. Totally got Boo.
I just remember using this guy year one World Tournament. You know, he was the staple unit for your AOE, and so it kind of like makes me sad that he's just not that good. Even with his EZA, he's okay, but again, I'm just echoing what Gresh said. Like, why would you use him in World Tournament? You know, or because he doesn't get that attack boost, so he can't really clear anything right away. Only thing he's got for him is he's tech, right? And with a prevalence of more Nappas and Vegetas, the LR, maybe you could use him. I don't know. I'm trying to justify it, and it's really hard.
Yeah,
and even
I
on
mean-
Super Battle Road, it's difficult.
I mean,
Yeah.
he's not bad in the World Tournament if you don't have other options, right? He's like, this guy's like one of your last options.
Yeah,
Yes.
pretty much.
I think it comes down to, okay, do you use this guy or do you use Raditz? And
I would
Oh,
rather use
Raditz, hands
Reddit.
Because
Yeah.
Raditz has a nerfing passive too, right? He can lower the enemy defense, right?
Yes, I think
Well,
so.
sure,
Plus-
I don't think that matters. But well,
plus-
like, okay, so if like, so again, my question would be, if you have the Raditz farm and he's free, so you should all have him farmed at this point, why would you have any use for that Majin Vegeta? Because he stuns? Is that why? Like, I don't know.
It's not even a good chance. It's a chance.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Plus, the problem with all the Majin Vegeta units, pretty much, is the fact that because he's one of the very few extreme units that has over and a flash instead of having prepared for battle. So even if you put him on a team with like other Saiyans, he doesn't really link super well with them, at least in terms of key.
Well, you need to
Good.
bring him with like what's it called? All just other over the flash units. So like the reason I remember him is because Strength Gogeta and this guy were my staple for year one before year one World Tournament because over in a flash. And if you guys didn't know about World Tournament, it super effective types give you more points than like neutral or even disadvantaged types. So back then it was all about the points, and now it's like the points are super inflated. But you know that's why you took Gogeta and then this guy. So like he was here for clearing speed, and then Gogeta was there to get you more points. And then now with like crits, that's why you want crits on every unit, because if you crit a unit, you get the most points out of killing an enemy, and then yada yada yada. So, anyways, I'm rambling on, but
So I think we all agree this is the best EZA ever. Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
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 Oh yeah.
hands
Yeah,
down.
fi- sure.
Physical
Things are-
Vegeta Blue, who?
The future is looking very bright for the Hero Extermination event units. Am I right, folks?
Oh my god.
Yeah, use the AGL EZA Goku in every event.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. All right, let's move on to the next topic. This is going to be a little bit more of a speculation-based topic. So, as you all know, it is November, so the holidays are just around the corner, and 2020 is almost coming to an end. So, we've got a few more celebrations, a few more banners, a few more things to be looking forward to on the global side. So, I kind of wanted to take this opportunity to have all of us just kind of speculate and discuss what the roadmap is going to be for global moving forward until the end of the year. We can't really talk about JP so much because JP is going into their new celebrations blind, pretty much. So this is going to be more of a speculation for global as far as like what the next banner is going to be, what the next celebration is going to be. And this will also feed into the final topic, which will be the main topic of the show. So we'll start with Garesh. How do you see the rest of 2020 panning out?
All right. Well, I sort of was thinking about this yesterday, and then we had a wrench thrown into that. But so we got a Dokkan now. We'll talk about the Dokkan now later. That'll be like the main thing we talk about later. But I assume whatever that is going to be taking up the rest of this month, as well as potentially a portion of December. And then as we move into the later parts of December, we obviously have 2 units that are slated to come out at that point, and those are the LR Blue Goku and Vegeta, Return of Power, and then we also have LR Jiren. And then I assume LR Jiren is going to come out probably around the end of December, and it'll spill into January as well for 2021. And then I guess what I'm hoping is we get the finally LR or not LR, the AGL, Kale, and physical, or sorry, yeah, AGL, Khalifa, physical, Kale, EZA, which is something that people have been asking about a lot. Actually, a lot more than I thought they would be asking about. Finally, come out during that celebration, whatever that Christmas celebration is, and I guess we would also expect to get the 10 category stages through Battle Road as well, which I thought would have came out during this celebration, but I guess they're pushing that back as well. So, I mean, there is a lot of content that we should expect during that portion of the year. So that's cool. But yeah, I think the big thing everybody's waiting to hear about is the Dokkan now that just got announced last night.
Yeah, and there's also, isn't it? There's the EZA for Topo and Dispo, because all of that stuff's like
right, yeah,
power
that
related,
is,
isn't it? So that's kind of all
yeah,
going to
you're
be
right.
shoved
that would
in
be
some
so
time.
that would be 2. Yeah, that would be 2 easy. and then whenever they want to do Super Saiyan 3 Broly, I guess 2021.
We're not in any rush.
Broly.
We're not in any rush.
They can save him for the last.
Exactly.
20 late if they
We'll
want.
probably end up getting one more chain battle too, right, before the end of the year, because
Yeah.
with the Topo and everybody getting their EZAs.
Yeah,
we'll
we're
probably
gonna
that.
get Golden Frieza for
Yep.
the chain battle.
That's where they changed the formula.
Yeah. So, I guess, I mean, if no one else has any ideas for for Global's roadmap, we can just move on to the main
I think
topic.
the main thing is, like, I think we would probably, from when we've discussed it before, I think what Goresh is saying is the general consensus, because we kind of know from the previous year, like the previous structures, that because of the way, like, the thing that comes out on JP at a certain time, then it comes out on Global at this time. So we kind of all have been expecting, I guess, since they came out on JP, that the Blue Boys was going to be like the big thing in December.
Yeah.
And so then, yeah, everything else just kind of builds around that. So you've got like the Kale and Khalifa and the Topo Dispo EZAs, LR Jiren, like it's all Tournament of Power related. So it kind of just feels like that's what they're saving for the end of the year. But then obviously now we've got something new coming up that we don't really know. So it'll be interesting to see how that fits in, if that fits in at all with that theme.
I want to say one more thing. I would say, shouldn't we also able to get the step up banner as well for New Year's?
Potentially again, yeah.
Honestly,
that would be in the new year, right?
Yeah, honestly, I'm not even that high on these step up banners at this point, just because there's so many LRs that if you summon on a double rates banner, you're pretty much gonna get an LR on average within 4 multis.
Yeah, basically.
So they can throw it out if they want. People will summon because it looks nice to summon on those banners, but at this point, I don't. They have to change that up more. Maybe make it like the last 2 steps are LR guaranteed. But as that banner stands right now, it's not really that special anymore.
Yeah, I was definitely in that camp of the first time they ever did it, and obviously we'd never really seen something like that, and it was just like, wow, this is the best banner ever. This is so good.
Yeah,
and then
basically.
by the time it came around, like the last time, I went into it, and I think I still summoned on it pretty much just for the content, like for making a video. But it was literally a case of like, okay, the first 3 steps, anything I could get as the guaranteed, I just don't need any of it.
Yeah.
So obviously, I know #well problems, but yeah, the step up banners start to become less attractive. The more units you don't need. So,
do you think they'll ever do something where they do a step up, but they kind of make it like a new age step up, where it's like only selecting from the pool of units that came out in the second half of the year, whereas like it's all of it? You think they'll ever do anything like that?
I don't think so. I think
no,
it's too easy to bait people into summoning on the banner with old units on it.
I can't believe I'm saying this. I don't even have to summon on that. I wailed out way too much this year. I don't need to summon on that banner at all.
Welcome. We welcome you with open arms.
I don't like
Welcome,
it.
boy.
I hate it
To the
here.
whale room.
Yeah, because even when you get to like the fourth step, where it's isn't it
Yeah.
the fourth step is like a category leader, and then it's like, okay, I can use like a copy of this one unit maybe, and then
a
any
copy of the TUR. Yeah.
anything else that it is, I don't need. And then obviously, I haven't got anywhere near as many rainbow summonable LRs as some people, but even that starts to get a little bit more dangerous.
I mean, to just go to Toon's question here, could they make like a vaulted pool of only LRs? You can only summon for LRs in the year 2020 kind of thing, right?
Well, what they could do is, because think about the Halloween banner that they just released, right? They could do something like that, technically, where it's like only newer units. But I think when it comes to LRs, it's there's always
More
going to
valuable?
be well, yeah, but there's always going to be people who need the older ones.
Oh yeah.
So they're going to summon anyway. So is it really worth it that they put the newer ones only on there when they could just shaft you guys and include the older ones as well? I don't think so.
Well, I think they wouldn't do that with the LRs because LRs aren't consistently released like Dokkan Fest exclusive, right? In a year, we're always going to get 14, 15, right? When you include the dual Dokkan Fest, there's 3 dual Dokkan Fest, so you're going to get anywhere from like 14, 15, 16 units of new Dokkan Fest units every year. What they could do is, I mean, this is me playing a bunch of gachas, they could just sell you a ticket where you buy like 3 packs or whatever, and then that's one special summon of, hey, if you want to summon for all the Dokkan Fest exclusives in the year of 2020, you got to buy like 3 $45 packs, $50 packs, and then you get the 1 ticket to summon for it, and one-time deal only kind of thing. You know what I mean? That's something I can imagine happening. I don't though, because this is Bondi, and I mean, Akatsuki, they don't really like to do that generally compared to other publishers and developers. Because other publishers and developers like, you can summon for anything in the year 2020 or 2019, and here you go. And for some people, those are more valuable, and they'll pay for the money to get that because it's a smaller pool, bigger chance to get what you want, or straight out a selector ticket kind of thing. But I don't see that happening at Dokkan because they make way too much money just by baiting you to summon on banners, period.
I think there's ways they could potentially do it, but I think the main issue is that they know they don't need to, and like people will summon on the step up banner even if they don't change it. Because they could do something like the selector ticket was kind of the thing I was thinking of. So like if they had a step up banner where, for example, if you do all the steps at the end, you get a ticket, and then you can exchange it for like the LR of your choice. Like I feel like everyone would summon on that to get that ticket. But like I say, I feel like they won't do that just because they know they don't need to, and people will just summon on step up banner anyway.
I mean just to quickly chime in, like another concept that you could think of is, hey, use your red gacha coins, buy this 2020 Dokkan Fest exclusive ticket, so you have a 1 in 16 chance to get, or how many there ever come out this year, 1 in that many chance to get the unit you want on this thing, but you have to use your gacha coins. So instead of like buying it out straightly right when the banner comes back, you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna chance it because people love gachas, like trying to potentially pull the hype unit that they want. But I mean, yeah, there's lots of ways they could facilitate this, especially when it's New Year's, especially with JP, because JP celebrates New Year's way more excessively than say the Christmas stuff. So there's lots of things they could do, but I don't know if they'll actually do it.
All right, you guys ready to move on to the main topic of the night?
Oh yes.
Let's start speculating. The upcoming Dragon Ball Heroes 10th anniversary stream is about 7 hours away. It's just around the corner, and we are all looking forward to this because there is heavy implications. I guess that's the right way to say this. Heavy implications to suggest that we're going to be getting something in the form of a Dokkan news drop during the stream. So where do we even begin? Super Saiyan 4 Vegeta, Super Saiyan 4 Bardock, Broly. Where do we even start with this whole thing? This is a huge celebration for the Dragon Ball Heroes IP to begin with. So how do we navigate through this upcoming stream? Talon, we'll start with you.
Oh man, I mean, yeah, I was just expecting, that we're gonna see the typical heroes thing. We're starting to see some drip fed information about it and everything, and then all of a sudden, boom, we see the typical post. Isn't it like a week beforehand? We generally see some typical poster type thing where we see like the 5 characters or so that we'd get for a typical collab with this, and then all of a sudden, Global's just like, hey guys, by the way, boom, volume 3. Like 2 days from now. And I'm like, okay. So I have a couple of theories about this, and I made a video about this last night when obviously all of us made videos on whatever the heroes thing is going to be. Either it is heroes, just like with JP, and maybe because the stream that is going to be happening later today, Japan time, which is night for most people, talking about the hero stuff and everything, that's actually about the heroes game, and then they might simply show some teaser arts for the collabs that they're doing with like Dokkan and other things. And then maybe this Dokkan Now thing is actually showing the heroes units, and they'll show the art, the cards, what they do, the super attacks, all that stuff. Or it's actually going to be a global first, either like LR or a global first Dokkan Fest. Because if I remember correctly, correct me if I'm wrong, global guys, the actual so the usual Christmas Dokkan first cards, like that stuff's not really announced or shown off until close to December. Like I'm talking like December 1st, November 30th or something like that, or even into December, right? If I'm correct on that.
Yeah, something like that, I think.
Yeah.
I can't remember when
Okay.
exactly it is. But...
Okay, so yeah, so I think it's gonna be one of those things. I'm not really sure, but wow, I'm intrigued to say the least. A lot of stuff in the future going forward, I guess.
So I feel like I have to say this, right? I think it was either
Here we
2
go.
or 3 episodes ago. No, don't worry. I'm not getting onto my Math 17 jam.
Oh, okay.
Yet. But 2 or 3 episodes ago, I said if they were ever going to do something on Global and JP at the same time for Heroes, it would be this year for the 10th anniversary. So obviously we don't actually know what it is yet, and I'm not saying that I think that I was right, but hey, that Dokkan Now thing, it's coming out at an interesting time. So
Yeah, I actually was talking about combined hero celebration this year back in May.
oh, okay.
Look at True trying to one up them.
Well, no, it was because that was before like the whole barrage of celebrations we were going to get on Global. With the anniversary and then leading into the download celebration. And I'm like, yeah, this year, we're going to get both of those. But also keep in mind, we might get a third combined one in November with the hero celebration. And people were like,
Yeah.
no, we're not getting that. That's thank you celebration. Look, this is the year, right? 10th year anniversary.
Exactly. I've seen people, I tweeted about it earlier. I put out a poll to see which people would prefer to see out of the either a Global First or Heroes. A lot of people are excited for Heroes. But
Yeah,
even
I was preparing people for this for a long time because I was saying, like, they put up the survey, and that was sort of like the initial hint that something might be coming this year. Because they knew, 10 years, like the big, like 10, that's a long time. 10 years for a game like that, it's a long time.
Yeah,
so
it's a big enough it's a big enough milestone that the way I look at it is essentially anything could happen. It's like if there was ever a year that they were going to do things different, because people have said, oh, but we never get hero stuff at the same time. It always comes out on JP first. It's like, well, yeah, but if they were ever going to do it differently, then this is the year they would do it. So...
Also, the fact that they, again, in that survey, were teasing potential Dokkan Fests for Heroes means that they do not care about global, global having limitations, because there's no limitations anymore with the World Mission game on the Switch now. They can release Heroes Dokkan Fest, and they can also release Heroes Dokkan Fest on global.
Do you remember back when, because I can't remember if he was delayed in the order, but back when Super Saiyan 3 Broly was revealed as the Extreme Tech 120 leader, and then we even had people then being like, oh, well, he's never going to come out on global because he's a Heroes character, even though he technically isn't. And then, fast forward to now, not only are we up to date with all the same units that JP has in terms of Heroes, but who knows? We could be seeing it for the first time. And obviously, I'm super hyped. I don't know if I've ever mentioned this, but I'm really into the hero stuff. So That's
Yeah, I mean, we don't know technically if the Dokkan now is referring to heroes specifically. It could just be a global first.
Yeah.
But the timing just seems so like it lines up so well.
Yeah,
And it would be
it's
a
too
giant
early to
coincidence.
announce like the Christmas thing.
That was
Yeah.
exactly going to be my next point. The fact that before yesterday, we were all pretty much still talking about, Heroes having some sort of a massive celebration on Dokkan, but the fact that the Dokkan now for the global side is happening a day after really solidifies that theory that there has to be some correlation between the Heroes, the preceding Heroes stream and the Dokkan Now stream. It would seem like a big misstep to deviate the attention focused on the Heroes celebration with something else on the global side. It just seems like that would not be the right course of action, the right business move right now when all eyes are on the Heroes 10th anniversary. This is a massive deal. Having the global side also be in on that seems like the go-to move in this scenario.
Yeah,
Plus,
the only sort of like question mark that I have when I saw this announcement was the thank you celebration, because we're currently in the celebration, right? And the celebration goes until December 3rd. Like that's when the celebration ends. So like, are they gonna announce this, combined Heroes celebration for Global and JP, and then just like completely ignore the rest of like this Hero celebration that we have for the next like 2 weeks? And
What
it's
celebration?
possible. Yeah,
Like,
exactly.
What do we have going on, really?
Well, yeah, that was going to be my other point, which is this? Do they view this celebration as such a failure that they're just going to ignore like the second portion of it? Like, maybe, I don't know.
I mean, they got whatever money
Probably
they
a
could out of
win-win
people with
for
those
us.
initial banners and those deals, and now they're kind of just waiting until the Heroes thing drops to send them through the rest of this celebration with some sort of revenue, I guess, some sort of profit.
And that further solidifies my argument that this timing of this celebration with the Golden Week, celebration for Global being now doesn't work anymore.
Yeah, 100%.
So now we're all basically in general consensus that Heroes is likely going to be the next thing that we all worry about on Dokkan. Is it okay to start speculating heavily about what the units are going to be now that it really seems like it's within reach? I know Goresh had a very interesting take on a particular unit that would be dropping on Dokkan. You can in fact see them on the screen. So do you guys want to talk about any particular units that you would definitely want to see in Dokkan as like the commemorative unit that spearheads this whole celebration?
Yeah,
we can start with Goresh's. Yeah, we'll start with Goresh's.
Yeah. So I guess, well, the first thing we could talk about quickly is the fact that they dropped Gogeta, Super Saiyan 4, right? Like before this whole thing started to blow up like this. And clearly it was for a reason. And a lot of people speculated he was going to be like the Super Saiyan 4 leader or whatever. And that's pretty much what we got. Like it's a grade 8 power or something like that.
Yeah.
Pretty much Super Saiyan 4 is what it is, plus some grade 8 units.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I think a lot of what we're going to be seeing, not necessarily the Dokkan Fest or the LR that we're going to be getting is going to be a grade 8 unit or a Super Saiyan 4 unit, but I feel like a lot of the general collab, like other units, will be centered around that theme. So, like, I don't know, maybe the main unit is not necessarily a Super Saiyan 4 unit, but what if, like, 2 of the other units that we're going to be getting in this collab are, like, Super Saiyan 4 Zeno, Goku, and Vegeta or something? And then that's going to all of a sudden start fleshing out that category to make it a better category. The category is not bad by any means, but it's not like as good as it could be for sure.
Yeah.
And Heroes is where you can, and Heroes is where you can really dive into like the Super Saiyan 4 theme, similarly to how the Super Saiyan 3 thing happened. Because at that point, there weren't in the series. There really aren't that many Super Saiyan 3s in the series, right? In Dremel. So they had to dip into Heroes for that, and I feel like they could do the same thing for Super Saiyan 4 as well.
Yeah, it's got the categories in that perfect position where it's like it's okay as it is, like it's workable, but it's almost like they've purposely left it ready for it to then be fleshed out by the Heroes stuff, like you said, just like with the Super Saiyan 3. Because Super Saiyan 3, before any other Heroes things, like the team was not exactly the most diverse. Like you didn't have a huge amount of options. So yeah, I think Super Saiyan 4s are definitely going to be on the menu.
And don't forget all the Dokkan Awakenings we should expect, like Dark Mask King, Black Mask Saiyan, like the Super Mira. So like in addition to everything we're going to be getting a lot of Awakenings. I remember last year when they did the banner last year, there were so many awakenings and stuff. Like the Twitter was tweeting out all the stuff, and it was like my phone was just buzzing and buzzing and buzzing because there's so many things they were tweeting out about, like all the awakenings, all the new units. So there's a lot of stuff coming. But me personally, if we're talking about like the big unit that I would want to see in terms of either a Dokkan Fest or an LR, again, on the screen you see Blue Goku and Super Saiyan 4 Goku. I think that is like a perfect representation of what Heroes is as like a franchise. It's just taking different characters or characters you wouldn't normally see either working together or against each other and turning those into like special units. And like, in what other way would you ever get a Goku and Goku unit? And then also the Super Saiyan 4 / Super Saiyan Blue theme is sort of also pretty cool because it's GT versus Super. And people always are arguing, okay, like what's better, Super Saiyan 4, Super Saiyan Blue, like who's stronger, blah, 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 blah. I think that would be a cool unit to have. It's just a nice contrast. So that's the unit I would personally want to see, but there's literally like hundreds of options. So
because even the logo, like obviously that's there on the screen as well for the 10th anniversary. It's those two together. So that would be like a perfect headline unit.
Janemba,
imagine
Turles, Bojack, Dr. Wheelo.
Are they going to compete with Go Bros for the longest card name in the game? Because it'll be what Goku, Super Saiyan, God Super Saiyan, and Goku Xeno Super Saiyan 4.
Oh man, yeah. I think the longest is KFC.
No, I think the longest isn't it Blue Goku and Vegeta?
Yeah, Blue Goku and Vegeta.
Yeah. I always forget about them because we don't have them.
Oh, we don't have that. Yeah. Okay. I think on global right now, KFC is the longest title, but yeah. But yeah, I mean, look, if the more units, the better. And I'm just picturing it now. The second this banner drops, what they generally have pretty generous rates, not rates, but like deals for Heroes collabs, right? Like every multi gives you a guaranteed featured SSR. I know a lot of people went crazy last year for the Supreme Kai of Time. She had like a 0.08 drop rate. People would go ham on these banners for her. So we can pretty much expect, if this is happening, let's not get ahead of ourselves. If this is indeed happening, a global JP joint hero celebration, or if it's just JP, we can expect some sort of summoning rate thing to be like this, right? Like every multi is a guaranteed featured. You have like 10 randomly new units to choose from. It's going to be great. It's going to be awesome.
Well,
any final thoughts?
Yeah, so two things for me real quick. The first thing that I would want to see the most is they add all these Heroes units to the general pool. Because at this point we have so many of them that it's not feasible for like most players to obtain all these characters just in this like one-time slot.
Yeah.
So I would want to see them add them all to the general pool. And then number two, I think it's possible we see 2 banners release during this collab. So we could have like the one that we generally see every year, which is just a bunch of collab units on a banner that's guaranteed featured, and that banner only has Heroes units on it. And then number 2 is going to be the Dokkan Fest, if we get a Dokkan Fest banner, or maybe it's a Legendary Summon. I don't know. I would presume it would be a Dokkan Fest for a new Dokkan Fest exclusive, and that would be a separate banner, and it would feature, other Dokkan Fest exclusives, and it would just be like a normal Dokkan Fest banner. And then, obviously, after the collab is over, that Dokkan Fest exclusive becomes like a normal rotating Dokkan Fest exclusive character, and then all those other Heroes collab units would become part of the general pool. So that's what I think might happen. And then in terms of the live stream that we're going to be seeing later tonight, which by the way we will be streaming a reaction to that, I think it's possible they don't show the major unit, but they show all of the like other normal collab units, and then like the Dokkan Twitter account probably will do their own reveal, and it'll be pretty exciting.
Yeah, make sure you guys follow us on Twitter because we will be letting you guys know as soon as we cement down the time that we're going to go live. We will be going live a little bit before the actual stream begins, so you guys can filter in, chat with us, hang out with us, and then once the actual stream commences for the actual Hero Celebration stream, we will be here live reacting, I'm assuming live translating, and overall just, taking it all in. So make sure you follow us on Twitter, stay in touch so that when we do go live on Twitch, you guys can join us. And I think if anyone else doesn't have any final thoughts, that is going to wrap this first half of the show up. But don't go away. We're going to be answering your Twitter questions coming up next. We'll be right back.
All right. Well, did I buy? I think I bought enough time there. Huh?
Yeah, I thought
Yeah,
I
man.
thought
Yeah, you did,
I
yeah.
thought you cut that quite short, Toon, for the heroes section.
Well, I was kind of hoping for Talon, Kensei.
I was
All right, guys, we're back. Before we get into the Twitter questions real quick, we want to give a huge shout out to the new subs on the channel today. So first off, shout outs to Carlos, Relative, and Sirloin or Sorloin. I'm sorry if I mispronounced that, but thank you so much for subbing to the channel. And I hope you guys are enjoying your custom emotes that we definitely got a lot of hard work in there. And if you guys want to hit those tier 2 or tier 3 subs, we even got some special face emotes from our boys Goresh and Truth. So, but anyway, thank you so much, you guys, for the amazing continued support. And even if you cannot sub to the channel, just simply hitting that follow button, being in the chat, chatting with us, that shows support as well. So thank you so much.
All right. And now that we're back, guys, if you follow us on Twitter, you know that a couple of days before the show, we post out a little announcement regarding the show where you guys can post your questions. And before each show, we go through those questions, pick some of the best ones, and answer them on the show. So, without further ado, let's jump into these questions. The first one is brought to us by KO. KO, yeah, I think it's KO. For the next global JP million download celebration, Do you think we will get a dual Dokkan summon of an LR transforming Janemba and LR transforming Angel Vegeta and Goku into Gogeta, similar to the Vegito and Bootanks we just had?
Yes, we're definitely gonna see that in the future, because they revamped the Vegito Dokkan Fest event. So I would assume it's not gonna be the millionth download. I think it's more of a New Year's worthy of celebration. But I don't know if the past New Year's for JP they've been LRs. They've been TOs, right? I think
Yep.
so. Yeah. So maybe this New Year's it could be Gogeta and Janemba as the first LRs for New Year's. So we don't know for sure, but that'll be amazing because we actually need a new Janemba in the game. So hopefully in the future that would happen.
I mean, we already have what? We have three Janembas, and then we could potentially be seeing a fourth one with this Heroes stuff coming up, maybe. So it would probably take a little while because for a download celebration, they probably wouldn't go to something that's non-canon, right? Because I think generally they've kept
Right.
everything in terms of the sagas, right? So
Yeah.
they're probably gonna, like Kensei said, this will probably be something different, like a New Year's or something like that. But as far as like a simultaneous celebration, I don't think they would go in that direction.
The only downside to what Kensei is saying is just that I don't see them introducing Dokkan Fest LRs for New Year's. 'Cause so far, it's always been major celebrations that everyone's going to be getting, like the anniversary, right? February is for JP, July is for Global. Then the dual Dokkan Fest for simultaneous worldwide celebration. Like those are the only times we really see LRs. And then we have that one for, like we had the not Go Bros. For example, Go Bros and the Blue Boys. We had that one singular Tanabata Dokkan Fest exclusive LR. So, the thing is, you might be right. They might switch to that, but I don't think that's happening anytime soon. So, if it was going to be for New Year's, then the only issue would be it'd just be another TUR instead of an LR. And these guys would be, to me, worthy of an LR. It's just if that's the case, it shouldn't be for New Year's. But again, that's just me talking.
All right, we'll move on to the next question, brought to us by Joe Smith. And Joe Smith asks, what are potential categories you guys could realistically see added to the game? Very simple question. Baldies.
Oh, can we remove categories?
Again,
Like
remove
negative
category.
anti-categories, sure.
Like
Negative
special pose.
anti-categories.
What would you remove?
Special pose.
Special
you.
pose. Yes.
you.
Yes.
Thank you.
Yep.
What categories would we want to see added? Honestly, I don't like the fact that there's so many categories.
I mean,
Yeah.
So if I had to choose one to be added,
it has to be something black and white concrete. Super Saiyan 4 is that, but we're going to get that taken care of very soon.
well, rather than adding categories, I would rather see some combined. That's what I would say.
Well, yeah, I mean, because there's so many stupid categories, they've run out of ideas for actual good ones. So they're now starting to thin the line between category and non-category. So diabolical villains and terrifying conquerors. It's
Yeah.
pretty terrifying that you're killing your own squad. That could be terrifying. Just put them all in one,
Even something as simple as future and time travelers, I feel like that's very similar.
Yeah.
And I don't know if we really need that separated into two different categories.
Oh, here's
Yeah.
one: Desperate Struggle and Last Resort.
Yeah, that one is
That's stupid.
that
'Cause
one
this-
is them scraping the bottom of the barrel for a name for their
And-
category.
That's what's so weird about it is there are all these weird categories that nobody asked for, and yet we're still missing things like Saiyan Saga and Baby Saga or Black Star Dragon Ball Saga or whatever. There's all these. They've made it pretty obvious that they're doing the sagas as categories, and then yet there's still ones that we don't have, and they're just bringing out these other weird random ones instead.
Charlie
Very
Jr.
strange.
Saga.
Right, that ain't gonna happen.
It's better than Special Pose.
They should release
He's
the
not
Garlic
wrong.
Junior Saga category and then still don't release the Garlic Junior.
Yes.
Yeah. Yeah. What is the Phantom Zone? The Dead Zone? They should make that a unit. Wait,
Dead
that's
Zone
Superman.
Saga
My bad.
category.
Phantom Zone.
Phantom Zone Superman. I always get those two mixed up. My bad.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Let's move on to the next question. Brought to us by Munchkim. Munchkim asks, what if for the LR friend summon androids, their easy area would make you use all the Dokkan Fest units whose Dokkan events you needed to farm? Would that be too restricted or a fun idea? Okay. I got that. So basically for that androids, if you needed to awaken the androids, you'd have to use all the units from the respective Dokkan events where the medals come from.
I don't
I
like that
kinda like
idea.
that.
I don't like that idea because it's a free-to-play unit, so I don't think you should need pay-to-play
Yeah.
units to access their EZA.
Yeah, because they're all Dokkan Fest event medals, weren't they? So
I still
they're
think the
all
premise
Dokkan
is
Fest
cool.
units.
Yeah.
It's a cool concept, but rather than that, maybe it's units that fit the theme of their Dokkan events. Like, I don't remember if there was like a Goku Black or something. Maybe then you would be able to use the STR LR Zamasu Goku or something. I don't know.
Yeah, it was a whole load of Dokkan Fest events.
Yeah, it was a lot.
Well, okay, so just to play along with its theme, like I agree with you. You shouldn't use pay to play units to awaken a free to play unit. But they could make it an easy path by just giving you red dragon stones, some blue dragon stones. It's like, hey, we're doing a celebration kind of thing. Here it is. Go work on these units, and they're just giving you options. Like for me, you, and most of us here, we won't care. But if you were a new player, didn't ever pull those units, that's an option for you to like go and get them. And like basically, I'm saying they just give it to you for free, either through the red, blue dragon stone, or just through coins. Be like gotcha coins. Here's 1,000 red gotcha coins or whatever. And then they put all those units in the shop for that time period, and it's like, go get it.
I like
I mean,
your
that-
solution
that-
to every problem is with gotcha coins.
It's because he's one of the few people that has so many that he doesn't know what to do with.
Well, that's true, but I'm just saying, like, that's their method of giving away stuff without directly giving away stuff. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So that's the best way that you could go about it, at least in my opinion.
Also, if they were to do something like that, there has to be a plan B to acquire the units needed to do the event. Because if you literally have to summon and pray that you get the units randomly, because I think all of those units are pretty much, I don't know if they're Dokkan Fest. They would all be like
Yeah, they're all Dokkan
random
Fest.
unfeatured
They're all
units.
Dokkan Fest. Well, so the solution to that would be take all of those Dokkan Fests out of the banners and keep them in the gotcha shop, in the coin shop forever.
Yeah.
And then, like, if you're a new player, here's when you first start up the account, like, here's 1,000 gotcha coins, red gotcha coins. Go grab something that you need to start up the account.
We're
But
kind
there's
of
also the
then,
thing-
yeah, and then we're kind of relegating them to like a pseudo free to play level, right?
Well, I
Because
mean,
then-
technically speaking, that's what they are, right? And
Yeah.
how many people are super happy to pull more strength Gogetas now? You know
Well,
what
yeah,
I mean?
no, yeah. So yeah, that's what I'm saying. So like, there has to be, because it's literally impossible to do the event if you have to summon and pray for RNG, right? So like,
right.
there has to be another way out. Otherwise, that's not good game developing right there. But it's a fun idea. I like it. Obviously, it wouldn't work for this, but all right. Let's move on to the next question. Brought to us by Global Shaft. Oh, Global Shaft asks, your guys' thoughts on units that need you to die to transform. For example, they release Super Saiyan Blue Goku, that if you die, he transforms into UI Goku with the animation from episode 110 and will restore the entire health bar.
Yeah, this is straight out of Legends. It would
Yeah.
be way
Yeah,
too broken
basically.
in Dokkan,
Yeah.
I think. I remember somebody asked a question, is basically this question, back when I think they were talking about the int cell, where it was like, oh, what if he activated his transformation where instead of if it was below a certain percentage, it would just activate when he died. That would I think that would be too good. I mean, I guess it would have to depend on if that unit takes the hit and then dies, or if you just die in general.
Yeah, it'd have
but
to be that
it's-
unit, I guess. 'cause-
Yeah, it's. That would
I
be
mean, there's a couple, I can't remember them all off the top of my head, but there's a couple of units in the game that have that passive where you survive if your HP was above a certain
yeah, but
percentage
it's
when
so
you take a
stupid
hit.
because
But
then you
it
take
is
another melee
So
after you die.
yeah, it's super restrictive. But I mean, if it happened instantly, I guess it could work. But
Well, okay,
It's-
so number one, That would be just broken. Number
Yeah,
two,
it's too powerful.
well, okay, how would it even work? Like, if you, let's say that you took the unit in slot 1 and they die and they transform, would the turn end or would the turn keep playing out? Like, they'd have to rework so much
Yeah, it'd
of
have
the
to.
game.
Well, I guess it would be the way in terms of, I don't know how that sort of stuff works programming wise, but I guess technically it would be like when you die and you continue with a stone, doesn't it? Like it restart. Does it restart that rotation?
No,
I
it
guess
goes
it
to
would
the
be.
next
No, it moves into the next turn.
Oh, see, I haven't done it for so long. I don't remember. So yeah, that because you couldn't. I guess you couldn't have that then because they won't be on the rotation anymore. So. Yeah, they'd have to rework the whole thing, which would definitely be a whole complicated new system. So probably not.
It would just be too good, I think.
Plus,
I
yeah,
mean, you
it's
could-
incredibly powerful. Yeah, 'cause-
You can make it restrictive, like within the first 10 turns, this activates, right? And then after 10 turns, then you have to be. It will automatically activate, but you'll be below. You have to be below like 50% or something like that.
You mean when 6 or more Universe Survival Saga allies are on the team and Beerus is on rotation and you're fighting Jiren?
Yes, exactly, just like that. But I mean, they could make it work. They would just have to restrict it. But again, the same problems come up as you pointed out, Goresh, is like they would have to rework the system of, well, if my unit dies, then right now, if you die and you want to continue on a Dokkan Fest event, you give a Dragon Stone, but then you just move on to the next rotation. Now, that kind of defeats the point, right? Like you want to die and then use the unit right away. So either way, no matter how we propose it, they still have to rework the system.
yeah,
And I don't know how much work they want to put in just for one feature.
Well, you can essentially use this as a Ghost Usher. Like, because
It's
you
true.
just have them in the first slot. You have them you have them die. Like, you start the turn at, like, let's say you start the turn at, like, 30% health. You just don't use an item. You put them in slot 1, and then you just skip the turn. Because they die and transform, then moves on to the next turn. Like,
Yeah.
that's just ridiculous.
yeah. Because I can see you saying the idea comes from Legends, where because you have multiple characters, something triggering on like a character dying is a whole
Yeah.
different thing compared to Dokkan. Because obviously, like dying is the only way you lose in Dokkan.
Well, yeah, and
that's it.
also
So
the first life of that cell that does that is like he's really bad. Like
yeah.
he's really bad before he dies.
So like he's meant to die.
Yeah.
Has that been a problem for players on Legends? Like, has there been like a cheese that's come of that, or has that all been bounced out?
No, they actually did a pretty good job balancing it. It was handled well.
Yeah, so it's obviously just something that works very differently in a game where you have multiple characters that can die throughout the course of a match. Whereas obviously in this, you have 7 characters on your team, but you have 1 health bar. So it would just be insanely powerful, even if they did try and put restrictions on it. Like there would be certain modes, whether it would be Super Battle Road or like the Infinite Dragon Ball History or whatever, there'd be certain modes where you could take this unit in. And then especially if it was a good unit that had a decent leader skill, then you've got one on both rotations because you're running them as a leader. Like you'd almost, there'd be certain events where you'd almost not be able to lose. So,
Yeah. I mean, I think it's a cool concept, and I think this is what the game needs because they need to do stuff that hasn't been done yet, which is not that much. I feel like they've like covered a lot of the stuff they could do. But thinking outside of the box like this, I think is cool.
Yeah.
And it definitely could work, but they would have to do it right. They wouldn't just be able to just like, oh, what if LR Jiren will arrive when you die? Like they can't just do that. Like, they have to be like very planned, and they have to think about how they want to do it.
Yeah.
All right, let's move on to the next question brought to us by Judame. Judame? What changes would you make to the World Tournament to make it a better mode? If you choose to revamp it altogether, how would you go about doing so?
Delete it.
Remove the map screen. Just have it like
yeah,
an EVA.
definitely,
Just
that'd be
go
nice.
straight into the fight. Like I don't see the point, especially when you get those rounds where the AI decides it wants to run away from you for 3 turns because you keep only rolling 1s and 2s.
Oh, you mean when I lost because I couldn't fight the AI?
Yeah,
Because
exactly.
I kept running away.
Can you imagine, dude, on the final night, 2 hours left, you've got like a 300 game win streak, and the stupid computer runs away. Each time you roll 5 in one direction, it rolls 6 away from you.
No,
Yeah.
what happened was I kept getting like 1s and 2s, and the CPU would just also keep getting 1s and 2s, and he was on the other side of the map, and I couldn't get, and I lost.
Yeah,
That's
it's
where you break your
ridiculous.
phone. Yeah. So number one, get rid of prelims. Number two, there needs to be a more clear-cut system on like what gives you more points, because they've said that team cost factors in. So like higher rare units factor into your point total, and I feel like there needs to be more that factors in so that people can have like top tier builds in multiple ways. It doesn't have to just be the same way. Because right now the only like mode of variation would just be the categories, but essentially the premise is the same: attack everybody. So like if there's other ways to achieve that same, high
Yeah.
score, they
could-
should do that to just make the game more interesting.
Yeah, like I'm not saying don't take anything else from it because we've already talked about how terrible it is. But from taking a page from like Chain Battle, could you imagine if each world tournament you had a specific? It wouldn't. They'd have to make it multiple ones, obviously, but like have certain categories where the units give you a ton of bonus points, and so then people are just not using the exact same teams every single time. Because it's. I don't know how they could really change the grind aspect, because that's always, I think, going to be the main thing. Like if you want to finish super high, you just have to like non-stop grind for the whole weekend. And I don't know if there's really anything they can do to fix that aspect of it. Because obviously you make it, if you start making it easier, you're just going to have everybody still vying for that same like top position. So it's not really going to make any difference. So they just need to improve the overall quality of actually playing it, because it does become like a mindless grind. Like obviously very well, Toon, so do you, Goresh. Like you just end up sat like tapping your phone screen for like 8 hours straight, and it's not fun, but you want to get those rewards, and they really need to do something to make it somewhat more engaging.
I think something they could do is give more choices to the player and how they want to play the World Tournament. Like being forced to use AoEs, and because I've personally used the same team for like 2 years for World Tournament. So maybe introduce some sort of like system that rewards you for doing things a different way. Maybe maybe like if you hit somebody, maybe if you I don't know, you do a single target attack that hits for like 5 million damage. Maybe like if you hit over a certain number, you like multiply the amount of points you receive in that stage by like 10 times or something. So you're not AoEing everything down, you're not moving as fast, but you're getting rewarded for other ways of playing.
Yeah, I mean, the way I see it is like similar to I can't believe I'm going to say this, but like Legends, where there are boosted units every 2 weeks, right?
Yeah.
So they could do that where they're like, all right, this world tournament, we're going to boost just fusion units or something like that. Where, hey, I can't take an AoE unit now. They're going to get double D points or whatever. Maybe there's a reason if you take a SR unit, there's high risk, high reward. You'll get 5 times the amount of points versus just your standard LR. Like, they could make the mode way more interesting in the sense of team building, because that's essentially what this game is, right? The gameplay mechanics are all the same. It's the team building that's fun, where you can say, I'm going to bring these certain units. They're going to have good synergy. All the Vegetos are going to counter. Like before AoE units became really big, I also used a bunch of counter units. So Super Vegetos were my friend, and Physical Vegeta Blue. So yeah. It was a lot slower, but it was a lot more enjoyable. You know what I mean? So if they could just give me variations on how to play, and if I just want to use AoE units because I don't want to, make the team or whatever, I just want to blow through it real quick, sure. But I just won't get rewarded compared to someone who is going to take the time, try something different with the rule set that they're going to implement, and enjoy whatever they're progressing in that regard. So basically take like the category system highlighted in Chain Battle, put that in World Tournament, and so like, hey, you get triple the amount of points if you use a Shadow Dragon Saga team. Sure, let me take my Strength Omega for sure. You know what I mean? That would be great. It might be like 2 minutes to clear instead of 45 seconds, but that'll be just more fun for me, at least in the initial beginning.
Can we also have link levels? Can we also have link levels work in the
No.
World Tournament?
No.
Yes, come on.
No.
Come on. You all know you want it.
Do you not understand what that would do to the game? It would slow it down even more. In between screens, you've already got enough crap going on. Now you want to add link level updates in there too? Can you imagine if you brought all level ones?
First off, the link level screen is not that long. It pops up, it's gone. Second, do what Mass Ningen said. Take out the map part of it. Just stop with the map part. Just go with, you start the battle. That's it. Just do that. There's no need to do all this map stuff, and boom, you're good to go.
If you do that, and you're going through the event thousands of times, all of those little screen changes are going to add up. And it's going to make the experience even more procrastinating.
Well, okay, truth.
Although to be fair, I guess at the end of the day, if you're somebody who wants to grind if you're someone who wants to grind it so hardcore that the appearance of that extra screen is going to irritate you, just use a team that already has full level 10 links, and then you won't ever have to see it.
Yeah. So hardcore players are your hardcore World Tournament people, aka Toon. Is you're not gonna like that, but the majority of us would like to see links actually work with the World Tournament. So
yeah, because like Talon said, is if you're gonna include that, cut something else out so it's not as bad. So take out the map.
Take the map. Just take the map out. There's no need for it.
Change the preliminary thing so it's like maybe 2 fights instead of 3, but then you don't have the map screen, so in total it's now 5 fights straight in a row, and then even if you add the link level up thing in the middle, it's probably still going to take less time than the old system. So
Ken, any thoughts? I know you ranked pretty high this time around.
I hate this World Tournament thing. I just think that they should just delete it. I hate it.
Yeah, to be fair, the only reason anyone likes it is because of the rewards. So just introduce some new way to give us the rewards, because then we no one wants to play the mode. We only want it to be better because we want to play it to get the rewards. Exactly. So really, the best case scenario is just replace it with something better to give us the rewards. But
they should remove the rewards, keep the mode.
That would stop people from playing it.
All right, let's move on to the next question, brought to us by Chilled Needs a Good Card. Remember that, Crush?
This guy again?
This guy again. He's back. How do you guys organize your boxes? Personally, I like to go attack, then rarity. I know a lot of people like to go by color, by color type, though. That's an interesting question. You know what's funny? I'll start this one. When I started the game, the way that it was organized is the same format that I use now. So AGL first, then tech, then int, then STR, then physical. That's how it always is. Super first and extreme second, and my rainbows are at the top, so it's like organized by typing and then percentages. I've never changed it.
That's exactly the same way I do it too.
Yeah, I get so uncomfortable when I see anything different.
Me too.
Yeah, I think mine is set to type, but it's the other way, so it's like physical at the top.
Oh, okay. So it's the same thing, but just reversed. Okay.
Although it seems like a weird question because I don't organize my box. Like if I'm going to go into an event or something, I pretty much always just filter by like the actual category and then just by type. So
that's when you're building your team. But like when you look at your box, right, before you even start filtering through categories or whatnot, how is it arranged? Is it arranged with all AGLs up top, with all your rainbows up top, that kind of thing? I think that's the question.
Yeah, I think mine is just type, and then it's, I can literally go onto it right now. Type descending, so it's physical first, and then down to AGL. But that's it. I haven't really got it specified for like the different rarities or anything as like a secondary.
Like I'm physically uneasy when it's out of place, when it's not in that format, because that was literally what it was day one when I played the game. That's how it was organized day one. I can't not have that. Yeah. If I don't have that, I feel like I'm gonna like fall off a cliff or something. Like it just feels so uncomfortable for me.
Oh, that's weird because I just go by acquired.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's kind of interesting because I never think about it. Like sometimes mine is just set by acquired, especially if I've just done a bunch of summoning. Because I'll be training in things.
Oh, I can't look at the screen.
Oh god, look at
that. No. Oh. I literally can't look at that. That's so wrong.
Yeah. Just by acquired. That's how at least I do mine.
No,
I usually go by cost. That's generally what I do, and then just go by category.
you guys are monsters. You guys are monsters.
I
Yeah,
would say
can't-
I go mine with cost and then activation.
Yeah, activation. Yeah.
I can't believe I'm saying this, but Tuna's right.
Amen. Since when does he and when do we agree on anything? Goresh,
Wow,
myself, come
that's
on.
whoo.
That's the
Someone
ultimate
clip
alliance right
that.
there.
Someone clip that.
There are some things that are just too important that we have to look past our differences, and this is one of those.
All right, let's move on to the next question. Hydros, get that crap out of here. Next question, brought to us by Stop it! I can't focus. Oh my god. I gotta minimize the window. All right. Ismail Hernandez. In your guys' opinion, why do you think Global and JP are not in the same direction, and why they always make Global behind when they were catching up to JP?
Okay.
Yeah, this is the great question. Who knows?
I wonder if they want to capitalize on global first things. That's my only explanation. Like maybe global first generate like ridiculously high amounts of revenue.
Do they though? I mean, how good did Goku and the hit before him do?
They got top grossing, I'm pretty sure.
I know at least Goku
Okay.
did.
Go Bros did well, right?
Oh
Yeah.
yes.
Yeah.
And who else am I missing?
Technically, Broly was first as well, part of the same sort of thing with the Go Bros, and obviously everyone loves Broly, so that did well.
UI Goku?
was pissed about that.
And then yeah,
UI
UI
Goku
Goku
too?
as well. Everybody
Yeah.
loves that.
Yeah, UI Goku hit it.
Yeah,
Yeah, it's weird. Because I mean, obviously, there's benefits and like there's advantages and disadvantages for them not being equal. But why they keep it like that, I have no idea.
All right. Well, okay. Here's my concept of playing so many damn gachas is that there's two. Okay, obviously there's two teams that operate Global and JP. They're still based in Japan, but they're just two separate teams, right? I think they're really hammering home on Goresh's point is they really want to try the Global first perspective because I think so far it's made them quite a bit of revenue from that perspective. While JP's always been getting stuff first, because they're ahead, now they're just tinkering around with it. And I think they're also trying to maximize on everyone's confusion on Global to wonder, because before Global First, everything was on schedule, right? You knew, okay, these were the banners. We're skipping these. We're going to go hard on this one. Or maybe throw a multi or two at this one. But now with unavailability of certain units, some units aren't back. You're questioning whether or not you should save your stones, which is obviously what they want you to do is spend money to get more stones.
Yeah.
They don't want, that's the whole goal. They want your money and they're trying to maximize as much as possible. So Global First, obviously you don't know if that's happening and that's not coming to JP. You have no clue. You might just go all deep in on a unit when it's pretty mid. We're talking hit here. Or they're pretty decent, but not the best. And that's Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken Goku. Or an amazing unit, hype unit like UI Goku. Everyone's dropping all their stones. They don't care about what's coming next. They're just going in on it.
Yep.
And they're going to deal with the consequences later, which is buy more stones. So in my opinion, it's really just to make money. Because even though that they could catch up, there's more opportunities to milk everybody, both sides, by throwing some Global First exclusives and putting things out, quote unquote, out of order. Basically, Global's paving their own way in terms of the release schedule and the celebrations. For the most part, some of them have been good, some of them have been pretty terrible, but it's just they're trying to make it so that they'll get the money from the Global people, and they're always going to get their money from the JP people, and find a happy medium where nobody knows what's going on. They're always on edge, which means they always have to buy stones because they're going to have to go deep on some random banner that they really love.
I see a lot of people in the chat saying that JP makes a lot more money than Global, which is obviously true, but that doesn't really pertain to the point that we're making because they view Global and JP as separate things, which they are.
Think about it.
So what their strategy with Global is they're trying to maximize Global revenue. They don't care about how much JP makes, and they're making decisions about Global. Like it's not a It's not like if we do this on global, JP's going to suffer. Like JP's always going to spend money. That's just how it's always going to be. Like they're not going to change their spending habits because of what happens on global.
Yeah,
Think
and that's
about it this
something.
way. Go ahead.
I was just going to say that's something they have to do, because if global just stays as the version that is just JP, exactly the same but like 3 months behind, then it's obviously going to make a certain amount of money. But that's obviously like that's their job, is they got to try and find ways to make global make more money than it would if they just left it as like JP 2.0. So yeah, things like global exclusives, even things like it kind of they can create like a false economy of, I guess, hype, as I don't know how to word it exactly, but like when we know that something's going to be X amount of months away. So like Gohan is a good example. We had the worldwide celebration, and then it was like, boom, Gohan's dropping, and everyone on global got excited because it's like, oh, awesome, we've seen how great he is on JP, but he just came out before the worldwide celebration, so we all assumed we were going to have to wait like 4 to 5 months to get him, and then he comes out as the first Dokkan Fest after the worldwide celebration, so everybody gets hyped. When obviously we were going to get him eventually anyway, and we're still getting him late to than people on JP, but now it seems like we had to wait less than we usually do, so it kind of increases the hype a little bit. So
Well, that plus everyone was waiting for him, but they just burned every stone they have to get Strength Super Vegito. So what do they gotta do? They gotta top up again. They gotta go back in and purchase more. So look, they're doing these things very intentionally. They're trying to get your money instead of just like, oh, we're only gonna make $100 million out of global this year. If we follow the same JP trend, we could make 200 million if we screw up the schedule a little bit, put some hype units up front. Like that's their goal. That's irrespective to JP making all the money that they ever make all the time, right? So they're just trying to maximize their revenue. Their business, they want your money. It makes sense.
Also, what I was going to say was, think about it from this perspective. You got those who consume JP, you've got those who consume global, and then you've got a contingent of those who consume both. If there was a convergence and both versions were at the same point, then you would basically kill off that small contingency or that small little demographic of people who consume both versions. And that is a loss, because I wouldn't say that's a pretty sizable amount, but that is still revenue. So when you have, a schedule, a gap in between both versions, you do know what's coming to a degree, but with these little variations like global first, JP first, exclusives and all that stuff, those who consume both versions might want to still keep up with both versions because there's enough of a gap to justify having both versions at their whatever current situation that they're in. So that's another reason why I feel like keeping them separate would also be good from a business perspective. Obviously, as a consumer, that sucks, but like from a business perspective, it would make more sense.
Yeah.
Any final thoughts on that question?
No, I think we hit all the points.
Yeah.
All right. Well, then I think we're about ready to wrap up the show. So that is going to be it for tonight's show, people. Thank you so much for watching. Huge thank you to Hydros for once again manning the boards, keeping the stream afloat. We really appreciate it. Don't forget to follow us on every social media platform in the 59G network so you can stay totally locked in. Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, Discord, YouTube, everything, you name it. Find all of the links everywhere in the panel below, everywhere. Just make sure you guys are connected. We will be back here tonight in about 5 or 6 hours for the Dokkan, or not the Dokkan, but the Dragon Ball Heroes 10th anniversary stream. Make sure you guys follow us on Twitter for announcements regarding when exactly we're going to go live. If you miss any part of the show, fear not. All of your favorite podcasting platforms have you covered. Google, Apple, Spotify, many more. Subscribe and don't skip a beat. I've never said Google before. Join us right here tomorrow for the next episode of the Dragon Ball Legends podcast. For Talon, Masningen, Guresh, Nolar, and Kensei, I am Toonrami. Thank you so much for watching. Stay tuned and always remember to Dokkan responsibly.